The Vow of the Silver Dawn is currently being released, chapters at a time, I think. It's a Chinese exclusive web novel set at the end of the High Republic era. I haven't read it or the translations fans are making online yet, but I was looking through it a bit and came across something surprising. Apparently, human replica droids are back in canon. Human replica droids are pretty self-explanatory by name, I think. They're droids made to look like humans. They were covered in synthetic skin, and even their inner workings were designed to look like human anatomy that could fool medical scanners. Some were programmed to think that they were real humans with memories and everything, so they're basically like Cylons from Battlestar Galactica or replicants in Blade Runner, that kind of thing. HRDs were first brought into Star Wars way back in 1982 in the comics, but I think the most prominent one is Guri from Shadows of the Empire. At least that's the only one I can actually name off the top of my head. In the Vow of the Silver Dawn, from what I can gather, replica droids are only mentioned. A protocol droid named White is said to resemble a replica droid but had a coat of white paint rather than synthetic skin. I think White was originally meant to be a replica droid that didn't appreciate imitating humans and preferred to be who she truly was, which I think is nice. Honestly, I'm surprised human replica droids came back at all. I like Shadows of the Empire, I like Guri too, but the droids posing as humans who don't even know they're droids always felt too science fiction for Star Wars. I'm sure people fully disagree with me on that, and that's fine, but whenever you get a story like Blade Runner or Battlestar Galactica, that's where we start to really dive into existential questions like, what does it mean to be human? Does it matter if you're born or manufactured? How are our identities tied to our abilities to have thoughts and feelings? I think Star Wars tends to be more personal. They're morality tales. Star Wars absolutely tells stories about heavy themes, how we should treat each other, when it's right and when it's wrong to fight, but there's also a lot more introspective stories about people, how to learn to be better, how to learn to be yourself, what emotions are of the light side and what are of the dark. A lot of stories about how one person can make the world a better place. That's not to say Star Wars can't ask those really philosophical and existential questions. Star Wars has always taken ideas from not just fantasy and space fantasy, but also science fiction, like Metropolis. It even sounds like George Lucas wanted to go deeper and weirder with his sequel trilogy treatments, where he's mentioned going into a microbiological level and exploring free will and destiny. It definitely sounds trippy. And it would have taken some getting used to on my part, I'm sure. I definitely tend to prefer my Star Wars to lean more towards fantasy, but I have a fun-hearted argument with a friend quite often who likes his Star Wars to be more science fiction. There's room for both. Anyway, I was just surprised human replica droids came back at all, and now I've rambled on about all this other stuff for a couple minutes, but what do you think? Do you prefer your Star Wars to be more fantasy or sci-fi? Do you like replica droids in Star Wars, or is that too far? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all our Star Wars coverage, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.